Hey guys, what's going on today? Brian back with another video here. I am sorry I have not brought videos to you earlier. I've been having some technical difficulties with my computer. The sound, I made multiple videos and the sound had this annoying clicking sound to the whole thing. So this is my first video of the week, so I'm just going to do one tonight, tomorrow, and the day after to reach my 3. I told you I'd get you guys for the week. So today, I want to revisit PPC and listings and why it's so important, and it's such a big part of succeeding. And so many new sellers and even sellers that are successful don't truly understand PPC. So I want to get into some of the things and show you guys some things that are really, I think, again, kind of going back to the Cerebro, are going to kind of blow your mind. So before we do that, let's get to the quote of the day. And my man Michael Jordan, that's who I'm bringing up today. So one of the quotes I love, and I've been looking at all these are all applicable to succeeding in anything, let alone business. But like I failed over and over again in my life, and that's why I succeed, right? So I failed multiple times. It's all right to fail, but don't make it a habit. Keep pushing through till you're successful. You got to have that drive, that will, that want to become successful and learn from your mistakes. So there's so many good ones here. What I really like, and some people want it to happen, some wish it would happen, and others make it happen. So you might want it, you might wish for it, but until you take that action and do it, it's not going to happen. Like my boy Gary Bishop, who's, I guess, a motivational speaker, he's written a couple books. You are not your thoughts. You are what you do. You are your actions. So if you don't take action, guess what? Nothing in your life is going to change. If you're afraid of risk, you're risk adverse, this isn't for you. Amazon's not for you. There's no guarantees. I don't care if you have a great idea. Sometimes they don't work out. Sometimes you lose money. I've lost a lot of money. But that happens. You pick yourself up, you dust yourself off, right? Like I was teaching my kids how to ride a bike the other day. Then they fall down, I tell them, get back up. Dust yourself off, keep riding. That's what you do, right? You're never going to learn unless you get back up, get back on the horse, and ride again. So that's my motivation for the day. So, because I wasn't able to do Motivational Mondays. So, real quick, let's talk about the theme of what we're going to talk about, PPC. And I want to help you guys better understand it because it's so misunderstood by so many sellers. Alright, and what I have here, and what you'll see on the screen, is my PPC campaign that I've recently launched on the 26th of August. So now it's the 11th. It's been a few weeks. I've been able to gather some data. So here's the interesting part. I got something in my eye about this particular campaign that I met a gentleman the other day. He messaged me for some help. I reviewed his campaign, and unfortunately, I didn't have good news for him. It had a lot of bad, let's take a look here. So what I want to show you here is that here's a way you may be able to turn it around, but there's always something to look for that might be a bad sign. So what I did is I have my normal campaign running that I know that works. It has some higher volume keywords. It has a top 50 just like you're taught, right? So what I did is I went through my competitors using Cerebro, like I've showed you in a previous video. I found 500 or so volume keywords. Some are 4, some are a little higher, some are a little lower, usually between 5 and 1,000. Some are around 1,000. So I found a bunch of keywords. Now, if you have enough revenue and volume in your market, in general, you're going to be able to find these. But even in some low volume markets, you'll be able to find 300, 400, 500. I really recommend 500 or higher. But even 300 or 400, you can make some sales off of. So here's what I did. I went and I found those keywords using Cerebro. Now, I use Cerebro by pulling up what it is. You take the ASIN of your competitor, you put it in Cerebro, and it tells you everything they're organically ranked for, what they're sponsoring for, what keywords, basically where are they getting their sales, right? So if you have a comparable or hopefully better product, you can hopefully take some of those sales, especially on some of the mid-tier people, not necessarily, even on the top. Take your top ASIN and your niche and pull those out. How are they making their sales? And they may be making their sales off of 10, 12, 20, 30,000 volume keywords, right? And those are hard to rank for. And you can spend the money and rank for those, but they're hard to get up there. You might have to sell 100 a day on some of those keywords. For these particular ones you're looking at here, most of them were 8 or 16 a day in order to get up there. Now that's the smallest you're going to get, 8. It could be less. That's the smallest you're going to get. So I took all these low search volume keywords and I ran the campaign. Now look what I did. Because of such low search volume keywords, what I did is I ran a high, very high bid. So let's take a look. So right here, what you'll see, I've cropped this out so you can't see, of course, what the keywords are. But don't worry about what the low bid is. Here's the highest bid, $1.30, $1.33. So these are some pretty high bids, right? $1.58, $93, $1.54, all very high bids. Now, here's how you find out whether or not you can make some sales with these. Because of such low search volume, if you want to get on page 1 for these, you need to put yourself there by bidding extremely high. Because when people do come through, those 500 searchers come through, maybe that's, let's say there's 300. I'm not suggesting you bid on a keyword that has 300, but if there's 300, you could do it. Let's say there's 10 people a day looking for your product, and it's a pretty relevant keyword. So if I bid $1.33 and the highest bid's $1.30, I'm 3 cents above the highest recommended bid. So I'm likely going to be on page 1 there. So when these see my product, even though it's a low search volume keyword, I got 54 clicks out of 4,800 impressions. So my click-through rate is 1.12. Now that's not great. Now what is click-through rate and why is it so important? So this is the gentleman that I was helping the other day. He had 0.02 for so many of his keywords. And that is a problem. That's saying something. It's saying you have a bad picture or you have a product that nobody might not want. I don't want to be the one to tell him that, and maybe it isn't his product, maybe it's his pictures, but I thought his picture was actually pretty good. But whatever the reason being, nobody was clicking on his listing, or his picture is not bright enough, that he don't have good enough differentiation. I'm not going to, I told him what I thought it was. I think it was he didn't have a differentiation, and in his particular differentiation, there just wasn't a lot of sales in that particular part of the niche. So I think that's his problem, because his pictures were professionally done and they were good, but there wasn't enough volume there in part of the niche, and overall the niche didn't have a ton of volume. So if you kind of single yourself out by not having a strong enough differentiation, that can affect it. It could be your pictures, it could be a lot of things, but your click-through rate, if it's 0.3 or lower, you are probably in trouble. You need to change something. Something's not right, or it might be your product, and hopefully that's not the case. But if you see here the click-through rate, how do we determine what that is? So I've pulled up click-through rate right here. So it's your click-through rate equals the total number of clicks divided by the total impressions, right? So I noticed I pulled up my calculator here. If I do this, right, if I do this click-through rate, okay, if we take 54 divided by 4805, you have to move the decimal too. So 54 clicks divided by 4,805 equals 0.0112. So you have to move the decimal place over 2. It gives you 1.12%. Okay, so that's how you do a click-through rate, but it calculates it for you. So where you want to be hopefully at 0.7, 0.8 or higher, but ideally you want to be at 1 or 2. That would be great, right? Because that means that there's more clicks. Something's drawing those people. So out of the 4,800 people that saw my product, that 54 people clicked on it. And this is a low search volume keyword. I'm getting some pretty good impressions on these, right? Some might be higher than others, and this one didn't do great. You can see it by my low bid. I'll get to that in a moment. But I'm doing really well on some low volume search keywords here. I'm making some sales. So check this out. I'm bidding $1.33, right? You think that's really high, but again, there's not a ton of search volume. But I'm getting impressions because I'm bidding so high. I'm on page 1. And now organically I'm on page 1, right? So if you go by this, $1.30 for a low search volume keyword, maybe 500, 600, I'm bidding $1.33, which would potentially or more than likely put you on page 1. That gets me, over the course since the 26th, I've gotten 4,800 impressions. I've adjusted it since then, so it might have been higher or lower. But I got 54 clicks, and out of those 54 clicks, that gives me a 1.12% click-through rate. I got 8 sales out of those 54 clicks, right? So out of 54 people, 8 people bought it. So 8 into 54, that's what? 7 times 8 is 56. So I'm getting about, the people that click on it, about 1 in 7. And I know that's not exactly right. About 1 in 7 people are buying it. 1 6 point something are buying it. So that's not bad. My A cost is really low, 13.05. I've gotten $300 and almost $12 in sales off of spending $40. So that's a good thing. I'm going to keep this one, even though it's a low volume search keyword, because I'm bidding higher. My click-through rate's not bad. Could be better. How would I improve that? I get better pictures, make a more enticing listing, make sure you have a great product, of course, but then people will buy it more, right? If you have a better listing. And here's the key to pictures that most people don't realize. Now, I've taken my own. So some of these click-through rates I'm proud of with my own pictures, but my pictures could be better. So you don't get glares and you don't get other things like that. You need to have 3D rendering, and you really have to have a professional do that. I am not a professional. I don't have the ability to do that, or I don't know how to do that. So that's what you need to keep in mind. Professionals really know how to use Photoshop or whatever product they're using, and they really know how to do great photos that make it look so much more enticing to the person, even if you're selling the same product somebody else is. Plus, of course, branding and packaging goes into that. But PPC wise, you can see that I'm getting a decent click-through rate. Could be better. This is better down here. And I'm making 8 sales off a low search volume keyword. Now, I have 50 of them in here, okay? This is another one, $1.33. I'm bidding a few cents, 4 cents over that. It's gotten me 1,200 impressions, which is much lower than this, but I get 31 clicks out of that, and I've got a 2.53 click-through rate. So this keyword is giving me a better click-through rate. So I'm getting more bang for my buck, right? So I'm only spending 33. My A cost is lower. I got 6 orders out of the 31 people that clicked on it. So that's not bad at all. And again, a low search volume keyword, because I'm bidding so high, I'm putting myself on page 1 for the very few searches that do come through. And you would think this would burn out your wallet. Now, if you put $1.37 on a $1.33 bid on a high search volume keyword, you're going to get crushed, because you're going to have 20,000, like here, 20-some thousand impressions, and if it's not selling well, you're going to get killed. And it's very hard, because usually the bids are really high to get up on those big keywords, right? So think about that. If it's a low search volume, it's okay to bid high, because you won't get as many clicks. And when you'll be able to tell if your ACOS is good and your click-through rate is good, if it's worth bidding that high. So here we are again. Highest bid is $1.68. I'm bidding $1.71, right? I got 2,100 impressions. Not a ton in the time period, but 38 clicks, 1.8. That's not bad. And I spent $45. I got $225 in sales. I have a 20% ACOS. I'll take that all day. So that's not bad. I didn't put these in order of ACOS. You can see right here I have an 8% ACOS. I made 5 sales. Decent click-through rate. Not that many impressions. And I actually am a little bit below the highest bid. So that can change from day to day, so you want to check that. I just took this tonight. So I'm going to go in there and I'm going to increase that to maybe $1.62, $1.63, so I can be the highest. But I'm probably organically ranked on there now too. So I'm making sales. My ACOS is good. That must be a highly relevant keyword. It's okay to bid really high on low search volume keywords, because they can get you the impressions you need to potentially make sales. Now, if you notice you're doing this and all of your click-through rate is really low, maybe the keyword isn't relevant to your listing. Maybe there could be so many things. Your listing is not enticing people. If you have that across the board, you better check your pictures, check your differentiation. Houston, we have a problem. You better check that out, because you're going to have a real issue there. Now, you can see from here, I have some pretty decent click-through rates. Like this one's 7%, ACOS is 15, I made 4 sales. I'll run it all day at $1.58. You know what I mean? Because I'm not going to get a ton of clicks. But when I do, those clicks are worth it. They're making sales for me, right? So 4 out of 28 is not bad. Now, once I improve my pictures, I might even do better. These might all be higher. So that's why it's so important to understand PPC. to understand what it is you're doing, not just to be able to pick the top 50 keywords and put them on there and decide I'm going to run a phrase campaign, or I'm going to run a broad campaign, or an exact campaign. Here are my tips. That is a very important tip, okay? You can run low search volume keywords at a very high bid to see if it works. If you're getting low ACoS like I'm getting here, beside from this one here, which you can see my bid's extremely low, so it's not costing me any money anymore, because I found out that was a bad one, and it had pretty high search volume because you can see how many impressions I got and it wasn't making sales. Just lower your bid really low, and if it's still spending too much money and not making sales, get rid of it. But you can make money off of low volume search keywords. You can see here I'm proving it. I'm selling at a low ACoS for a lot of these. Now I adjust these over time, but I have a lot of low cost keywords. Now I'm going to sell them 4 or 5 over the course of a few weeks, but if you have 50 of those, that adds up. It adds to your rank. It adds to your potential to make sales. So, and it's also easy to break into those low search volume keywords. It's a crucial part of understanding PPC and understanding what these different terms mean. Now they have that new term, the return ROAS. I'm just not a big fan of it. I'm not used to it yet. I'm sure I will get there. But understand what your target bids are, of course, and what the bids, why you're bidding what you're bidding. Understand the impressions, right? How many people are seeing your product. Understand that, of course, your clicks divided by impressions is giving you your click-through rate. And understand what a good click-through rate is, or what a really bad one is, which is definitely below 0.30 for sure. Understand what your sales are compared, which causes your ACoS, so you can compare that to what your margins are. Now, sometimes I'll run one at 30 or 40 or 50% because I'm trying to build rank, and eventually that ACoS a lot of times will go down, and I'm trying to steal sales from my competition. It depends, but in general, you want to generally have a 15-20% if you can, or even lower ACoS. I've had as low as 7 or 8% on some of my campaigns, especially during the holidays. But here's my point. You have to understand this stuff if you're going to do well with PPC. Understand it's not just about putting the top 50 keywords. You can do that to start, but another thing is, here's what I recommend. Do not put phrase for a 1 or 2 word. If it's 1 or 2 words, if it's pocket keychain, or doesn't make any sense. If it's diamond necklace, 2 words, put that as an exact campaign. If it's just necklace, put it as an exact campaign. If it's blue diamond necklace, I like to put those as a phrase. So think 2 words, exact, 1 or 2 words, exact. If it's 3, phrase, use a phrase. I don't believe in creating separate campaigns, creating an exact campaign, a phrase campaign, a broad campaign. I don't do it that way. I create one campaign. If it's exact, I do 1 or 2, because you're usually searching for that specific word. If it's phrase, it's a little broader, right? So use that for 3 words. If it's 4 words, 5 words, 6 words or more, use broad, okay? I like to put them all in one campaign. That generally gives me good results. If it's low search volume, I like to put those in a separate campaign and bid really high on them, because then I can tell if I'm going to make sales, and I bid really high so I can get myself on that page 1. For other ones, it's okay to do that 3% higher to see how they do, so you can try to start getting impressions. But you really want to see, with those low search volume ones, how you can make impressions and make sure you're getting on that page 1, so when people do search, they find you. That'll tell you if your pictures are good, if your differentiation is good and people really want to get it, and then your ratings ultimately will tell you if you made a good product. And that's something else. You need to make sure you're constantly improving on that product that you made. So a lot of people tend to fail after they're making sales and they're successful, either because they don't look at their pictures and maybe update them. They don't maybe look at their listing and see what's been going on. Why are they getting bad reviews, and what are those bad reviews telling them? Is it something that you can easily fix with your manufacturer? This has been the case with me. I have fixed multiple problems. I've fixed the size of something. I've had to fix issues with something breaking. You have to constantly be on top of it, because if you're going to stay on top, or if you're going to get to the top, you've got to make a superior product, superior listing, and you've got to be able to manage your PPC properly. And this is all part of that. This is a great way for beginners to jump in and it goes against, you know, your normal, what you're taught. It goes against taking the top 50 search volume keywords, right? Now that's a good way to start, but also think about the lower search volume keywords, especially if it's a high rev market, that you can break into these much easier and make sales on the back end. So I hope this video helps you guys out. Always trying to improve your product, improve your listing to stay on top. Don't let your competitors overtake you because they come and do something better than you. Make sure you're constantly updating. If you have an issue with your item that's breaking, fix it. Make sure it's fixed. The reviews will tell you if you have an issue. Fix that problem and make sure you let your customers know you fixed it. Take care of your customers. Take care of your listing. Your listing will take care of you. Your money will make you money, and you'll be a happy camper. I hope this helped. Again, take the action, guys. You've got to do it. There's no guarantees. You may fail. I failed. I think every big seller out there has failed. I just wanted it. I don't care. I wanted it, and I wanted it, and I wanted it. I've had my doubts. I thought, man, maybe I shouldn't do this. It's not working. But then you succeed, and then something great happens. Keep working, guys. Keep believing. But you've got to take the action and do it. Just to give you some motivation, this is just on 2 products mainly, okay? And this is not the brag. It's just show I'm legit, and I'm showing you guys my sales. Okay, I got a new product in, not my old new products in, but I have, this is just 2 main products doing all these sales, okay? This is what I make my income and my living off of, right here. So this was today, okay? Now it's probably going to be backwards. It's 54 sales for $2,600, okay? And I'll even, hopefully that'll refresh. So that can be you. A couple of products are literally making my living for me. Now, I've had some other products in here that I've recently launched that didn't do so well. I'm getting rid of them. They're not productive enough. I'm going to try to do a third product that's in a high competition market. I'm going to push in there and I'm going to win. And I'm going to make that a third product that's going to make me money. I believe I'm going to do it. I've made a great differentiation. I'm getting a great listing. We'll see what happens. I'll keep you guys updated. In the meantime, I hope this guys really helped you out. If you have something you want me to do a video about, please let me know. But again, mastering PPC is so important. Understanding PPC is so important. Understanding what it means and what it does and what you do affects it. It's not going to come easily. It's taken me a long time, but take these tips and use them when you launch your product. I hope this guys helps. God bless, guys. Please like and subscribe. Have a great night. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow, and I will bring 2 more videos for the week since I'm going to meet my commitment for 3 videos for the week, guys. Have a great day. God bless.